There are some stories that don't begin with joy, but with loss. Stories where people try to move forward, even when their hearts are still buried in the past. This is the story of a boy named Ben Aldridge, who believed Christmas died the day his mother did, and of the woman who stepped into his life when everything felt hopeless. A story about grief, secrets, gentle courage, and how sometimes the person you fear the most becomes the one who saves you. My name is Ben Aldridge, and for a long time, I hated December. Christmas used to be the happiest time of the year, when my mom turned our little house in Vermont into something magical. But when she passed away suddenly, when I was only 12, the holiday felt like a wound that never stopped bleeding. I didn't touch her decorations. I didn't open the boxes she once labeled with her handwritten tags. I thought keeping them closed would keep the pain away. Dad tried to help, but I knew he was drowning in his own grief. He worked longer hours, talked less, and moved through life as if each day weighed 100 pounds. Our home, once bright and full of laughter, became a quiet museum we were both trapped inside. So when Dad remarried just a year later, I felt betrayed, like he was replacing her, like he wanted to erase what she meant to us. Her name was Lisa Marwood, and from the moment she moved in, I kept my distance. I didn't yell or act out. I just shut down. I spoke to her only when it was necessary. I refused to let her touch anything that belonged to Mom. I avoided the living room when she tried to decorate or cook. I didn't want her to feel at home because in my mind, this house belonged to Mom and no one else. December arrived again, our second Christmas without Mom, and it felt colder than the snow piling outside. Dad suggested putting up decorations, but I refused. I thought Lisa would push too, but instead, she stayed gentle, almost quiet. She didn't force anything. She didn't ask for my approval. Instead, I often saw her sitting alone at night in the kitchen, reading some old notebook of Mom's that Dad had kept. I didn't know why she was reading it, and honestly, it made me angry. One evening, when Dad was working late, I walked into the kitchen for a snack and found Lisa studying a crumpled recipe card. She looked tired but determined. When she noticed me, she hesitated before asking softly, "Ben, was this really your mom's special hot chocolate recipe?" I froze. Hearing someone else talk about Mom's traditions felt strange, almost painful. Without answering, I grabbed the snack and walked away. But that night, I couldn't sleep. Why was she learning Mom's recipes? Why was she practicing them alone? The next morning, her attempt appeared on the breakfast table. 2 mugs of hot chocolate, whipped cream leaning heavily to the side, cinnamon sprinkled in uneven circles. It looked nothing like Mom's version, but I could tell she'd tried. Dad smiled politely, but I didn't touch mine. I saw disappointment flash across Lisa's face, but she didn't say a word. She just carried on, as if she understood she had to earn her place slowly, or maybe she already knew she might never earn it at all. Later that week, I overheard her humming the silly carol Mom used to sing while decorating, the offbeat, goofy one only our family knew. My chest tightened. How did she even know that song? I didn't confront her, but something inside me shifted. Was she trying to replace Mom, or was she trying to understand her? One snowy evening, as I walked past my mom's old storage closet, I heard a soft crash inside. Curious, I opened the door, and there was Lisa, sitting on the floor, tears on her cheeks, holding one of Mom's handmade ornaments, broken in her hand. Something in her expression wasn't fake, wasn't forced. It was real pain. Not the pain of someone pretending, but of someone trying desperately to honor something she thought mattered. For the first time, I didn't feel anger. I felt confusion and a strange, uneasy pull toward the truth I hadn't bothered to see. I didn't know it then, but that moment would change everything. I stood frozen at the doorway, watching Lisa carefully pick up the broken pieces of the ornament. It was the one Mom and I made together when I was 8, the glass sphere with tiny painted snowflakes that looked more like smudges than art. I'd practically worshipped that thing. Seeing it in her trembling hands made something surge in my chest, but it wasn't anger. It felt more like fear. Fear that the last piece of Mom might be slipping away. She didn't notice me at first. Her eyes were red, her shoulders shaking. When she finally looked up, she whispered, "Ben, I'm so sorry. I was trying to fix the ribbon on it. I shouldn't have touched it without asking." Her voice cracked in a way I didn't expect. It wasn't guilt for breaking something. It was guilt for hurting me. And for the first time since she'd entered my life, I believed she meant it. I walked into the room slowly. My instinct said to run, to shut down again, but something about her raw honesty kept me there. She placed the ornament gently into my hands, as if it were something sacred. And then she said something I'd never forget. "I'm not trying to take her place, Ben. I just wanted to understand what she meant to you. To both of you." Her voice was quiet, almost pleading. I didn't respond. My throat felt tight, like words would crumble if they tried to come out. So instead, I crouched down, gathering the fallen glass pieces. She watched me in stunned silence. Maybe she expected me to yell. Maybe she expected another wall. But I didn't want to fight anymore. Not tonight. We sat on the floor together, and I noticed something I hadn't before. A small notebook lying open beside her. It wasn't Dad's. It was Mom's. Her handwriting filled the pages. Recipes, silly doodles, small notes about Christmas traditions, even thoughts about how she wanted future holidays to feel. I reached for it without thinking, my fingers brushing over her handwriting like a fragile memory. "She wrote everything down because she knew these memories mattered," Lisa whispered. "I thought maybe, if I learned them, if I tried to do them right, it might make December a little less painful for you." That was the moment something cracked inside me, not in a bad way, but in a way that released pressure I'd been holding for years. Because the truth was, I missed those traditions more than I admitted. I missed the smells, the music, the laughter, and maybe I missed having someone who cared enough to try. Lisa wiped her eyes and gently asked, "Would you like to fix the ornament together?" She said it cautiously, like the question itself might break me. I hesitated, staring at the fragile pieces in my hand. Fixing it felt impossible. But then again, everything in our family felt broken lately. Maybe this was our start. So I nodded. We spent the next hour repairing the ornament, piece by piece. The glue left faint lines, the paint chipped in a few spots, but it didn't matter. When we finished, Lisa smiled. Not the polite smile she used around Dad, but a real one. A soft, hopeful one. "It's not perfect," she said, "but sometimes the imperfect things carry the most love." That night, I couldn't stop thinking about her words. I'd always believed loving Lisa meant betraying Mom. But maybe love wasn't a replacement. Maybe it was a continuation. Maybe Mom would have wanted us to heal, to grow, to let someone else in. The next morning, I walked into the kitchen and saw Lisa trying, again, to make Mom's hot chocolate. The cinnamon was still uneven, the whipped cream still lopsided. But this time, I sat down. She looked at me cautiously, unsure if yesterday had changed anything. I picked up the mug and took a sip. Her eyes widened, filling instantly with tears she tried to hide. In that quiet kitchen, with snow tapping against the windows, something shifted between us. Not perfect, not easy, but real. The first step toward a Christmas that didn't hurt quite as much. Days passed, and the snow kept falling outside our Vermont home. I began noticing small things Lisa did quietly, hanging a string of lights in the hallway, baking cookies shaped like stars and snowmen, even leaving little notes for me and Dad in the kitchen. None of it felt forced. None of it screamed, "I'm trying to replace her." Instead, it felt like care. Genuine care. And slowly, without realizing it, I began to look forward to coming down the stairs each morning. One afternoon, while Dad was at work, I found Lisa in the attic, carefully unpacking Mom's Christmas decorations. I wanted to bolt, to tell her again that nothing here was hers to touch, but something stopped me. She looked so focused, so reverent, as if she were handling a treasure far beyond any money could buy. When she noticed me, she smiled gently and said, "I thought we could put them up together. Only if you want." For the first time in 2 years, I agreed. Slowly, awkwardly at first, I hung ornaments on the tree. Lisa didn't hover or tell me how to do it. She just worked beside me, occasionally handing me a piece I couldn't reach. And then it happened. She hung the small handmade ornament, the one I had repaired with her the night we'd sat on the floor together. Somehow, seeing it on the tree, shimmering in the glow of the lights, I felt a little warmth returning to the house, to me. The night before Christmas, Lisa suggested we make Mom's special hot chocolate again. This time, I helped measure the ingredients, stirred carefully, and added the whipped cream on top. We laughed when it spilled over, just as Mom used to laugh. For the first time, I realized that Christmas didn't have to be only about loss. It could be about memory, love, and new beginnings too. Christmas morning arrived. I woke early, my heart pounding with a mix of excitement and nervousness. I had a secret of my own, something I had been working on quietly. A small, hand-painted ornament. I carefully wrote the words, "To my second mom," and placed it in a little box. When Lisa came down the stairs, she looked tired but happy. I handed her the box silently. Her eyes widened. She opened it, gasped, and then tears streamed down her cheeks. I saw her shaking, a mix of shock and gratitude. "Ben, you made this for me?" she whispered. "Yes," I said, my voice catching. "Because you didn't replace her. You made this Christmas bearable. You're my second mom." She pulled me into a hug. It was warm, protective, and real. And for the first time since Mom had passed, I felt safe. I felt love that didn't erase the past, but made room for the present. Dad came in, smiling, silently witnessing the moment, and for the first time in years, our little family felt whole again. Lisa had shown me that love isn't about replacing someone. It's about building bridges, about understanding the grief that others carry, about patience, empathy, and small acts of kindness. And in that moment, I realized something important. Christmas wasn't saved by gifts or decorations. or even traditions. It was saved by a heart willing to care when everyone else had given up. If this story touched you, remember that sometimes the people we least expect are the ones who make the biggest difference. Don't forget to like this video if it moved you. Subscribe for more emotional family stories and life lessons. Share your experiences in the comment box if you've ever had someone step into your life and change it in ways you never imagined. And share this story with anyone who needs a reminder that patience, empathy, and unconditional love can heal even the deepest wounds.